To be a woman who made her fame and her money off of having an unpopular opinion stated rather condescendingly and having a negative interaction with 95% of the people she comes in contact with, her team sure will attack you if you don't have the right opinion that goes along with their narrative. Oh my goodness, tolerance. Have we updated Wikipedia lately? I think it's changed. Number one, welcome to my back porch. It is screened in, so we don't have a lot of light, but we're going to do this anyway because I'm not going inside because it's too pretty today and I'm outside. So today, if you've been anywhere on the internet, you know that something I never imagined possible occurred today. Nicole Arbor interviewed Jordan Peterson. Now, for me particularly, I don't know why this occurred. I don't know what two brains thought that these two people would be conducive or create something positive together. I don't know what agent thought that was a great move. I question it 110%. Now, you might be of the team that you don't question it, that you think that this was a great mix-up, that you think that the two entities or the two sides actually are going to benefit from each other, and they might. For me, I personally just think this was a huge, foul ball that got lost in the weeds. Now, I don't have a lot of positivity toward Miss Arbor, and it's not that I don't know her. Personally, I don't follow her. I don't try to monitor what she puts out. I just happen across her things from time to time. And years and years and years ago, I happened upon her fat rant. Well, being somebody that was very healthy and very strong and very muscular until I developed a neuromuscular disorder, and then receiving hate from ignorant people that don't understand what occurs when your body has a neuromuscular disorder and your body can no longer do the things you once did. I received a lot of hate from people that were just too ignorant to understand that people have personal, medical, or other reasons, emotional scarring, that create weight gain issues. And we need to be a little bit kinder about how we treat people and their weights. Either real thin or super fat like me, we should be kind to people because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes to have created that. I try to always be kind to people, but the more I dug into Nicole Arbor, the less I liked her. And this is just my opinion. This is just my personal opinion that I have developed from monitoring her and looking at her. So I saw her fat rant. I've seen a couple things she's done. It seems to me that she likes to instigate issues. She likes to instigate fusses. I don't like people that instigate. I think instigators, that we call in my house institutors, I think they're bored, and I think that they quite often entertain themselves at the emotional cost of others. And I just think that that's just not nice and not kind and not necessary. So I have never really liked institutors. So when I saw a few of her things, I thought, okay, well, this is not anybody I can get behind. She's belittling other people for their physical makeup, their physical issues, while she's celebrating her own blonde hair and big bosoms, and she's projecting herself, in this great positive way, and I am, and it was something that there were just so many inconsistencies or mixed messages or portrayals that I didn't think she had thought through, that I just could not celebrate anything with her. And so I saw the Jordan Peterson interview this morning, and I thought, I could not successfully go beyond about 45 seconds. It was too much. You can be too much of an extrovert for it to be healthy, and I think that's kind of what I witnessed. And he's very introverted, so the compatibility was kind of off at the beginning. I'm sure it probably got better as the interview went on, but this is something that I'm not going to be able to watch. I just can't. And if you can watch it and you can enjoy it and you can glean some information from it, kudos to you. That's great. If you like Nicole and you happen to think she does things that are positive, that's great. If you can get something positive from her message, if you can create something positive from what I feel is negativity that she spreads, then I'm going to celebrate you, because that's something I can't do. I know my shortcomings. That's it. I can't This is one area that I have a hard stop on. I can't celebrate this woman. The more I looked into her, the more questions I had about the persona that she portrays and the actual person that she is. I found so many inconsistencies and incongruencies that I just thought, this is not somebody that I want to waste my energy and time on, and it's certainly not somebody whose opinion I'm going to value, because I don't think they understand themselves the difference between portrayal and an actual person, between a persona and an actual person. I think she gets caught up in the limelight. I think she gets lost sometimes. And I think her team are so caught up in being a team that they forget individually that they're allowed to have different views and different perspectives, because it's very much a walking cult. Because I did post it was politely written, but it was negative response to my perception of the video and putting them together in a video. And I received some backlash, which is okay. I get to put my opinion out there, and so does everybody else, and that's how the world works. But there were some very interesting things that I gleaned from the conversations that they had. Number one, even though she preaches positivity and she preaches support and hey team, go team, we're a team, immediately, the moment I identified as somebody who wasn't specifically on the team, I became enemy number one. And for someone to preach togetherness and support, that was a whiplash-inducing response to someone just simply having a different perspective. So number one, they don't practice what they preach, because we certainly cannot embrace anyone else's ability to have an individual thought. You must be on the team. Okay, didn't really care for that. Number two, I had somebody basically tell me, if you don't like her, just sit down and shut up and don't say anything. This was my biggest beef, and this is where we're going to spend the rest of the conversation. I have a big beef with the world saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Okay, I understand that when you're a child growing up, you need a little bit more context, and you need a little bit more information to round out your perception and perhaps what you're going to say in response to somebody. And when you see a child and they don't have anything nice to say, sometimes it is best for that child to say nothing at all. But as an adult, there are times when you need to say questioning or possibly politely negative things. There are times when you need to voice an opinion and possibly educate, inform, or leave a question mark for somebody to begin a process of a deeper understanding or an information dive, so that they question and round out their beliefs or their opinions even more. They have even more context behind them. It is people that have a differing opinion that cause that to happen. And so as an adult, people that challenge you or question you or make you have to support your own beliefs and opinions, they're really useful. They need to be there. Because there's a counselor that's come out, a therapist that's come out with this thing, he's like, oh, well, if an extrovert goes after you and you don't want to be a target, just do this thing called gray rocking. Gray rocking, effectively, is making yourself boring, unnoticeable, quiet. You're just a lump in the corner, so that you won't catch their energy, you won't become a target for their energy and their behavior. When is it ever appropriate to become a lump in the corner, to think that you're only out in a situation where you have an opinion is to not say it? To where if you're not part of the in crowd or you're not part of the celebrated group, you should just shut up and hide. I completely dismiss gray rocking. Now, sure, in some situations where there's domestic violence and abuse and things going on, gray rocking may come in and save your life. But socially, gray rocking is something that could harm us more than help us. Because in essence, it's saying if you're not part of the celebrated and popular topic or the popular opinion, don't speak. Disappear. We don't want to know you're here, or we will attack. There used to be a time when we were brave enough to stand up and say, something, that is convoluted and stupid. That doesn't make any sense. That makes people that much more of a target, because they lose the ability to stand up for themselves and embrace their own opinions and beliefs and to speak openly. But it seems like the entire therapeutic community is okay with gray rocking. This is something that's going to have to be used very carefully, because on social media, you should never gray rock. you should always be honest. You should always politely or neutrally express your opinion and how you made that opinion or belief, give information and context so that people that want to explore how you came to your decision can do so. Don't attack, don't berate, don't belittle, but engage and neutrally state your opinion. There is no problem stating your opinion. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone gets to state it. I feel that gray rocking is just yet another way to try to force people that have rather conservative or unpopular stances to not share and become less and less and less of the dialogue of this nation. I think that's super scary. So I can say that maybe the one positive thing that came out of Nicole Arbor interviewing Jordan Peterson is that we have identified that while we think, that everybody has this great freedom of speech and we can talk and we can do all these things, the moment we put these two together and their two bifurcated sides clash, we can see the issues. Because while both want to be vocal and share their beliefs and opinions and how they form these beliefs and opinions, only one side is being allowed to do so. The other side is being admonished and told to shut up and disappear. And if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And all those old adages that, used to be something that Grandma would say that right now Grandma would probably spank your butt if you actually did. So I think it's just another way that we're trying to, just random thought. Jewel wrote a song years and years and years ago that said, "Temptation soon becomes the oppressor." And I remember, a couple decades ago, everybody wanted to be unique and different and their own person and make everybody raise an eyebrow and question what was going on there. They must be very extravagant, unique. They're just, such their own person that we can't describe them. And people used to desire to be, so, just flamboyant. And now that flamboyant is kind of the norm, we're starting to see people that are more conservative in nature or less flamboyant or a little bit more mainstream, they're starting to rock the boat by simply being a little less. And I just see this huge pendulum swing in our society, and it seems like we're too stupid to understand that it can go both ways. And I've seen it now swing a couple of times, and so I can identify that, and I can acknowledge that, and I can say I have the information, and I have the life experiences that tells me that's going to change again and again and again. So I'm going to ride this out, but I'm going to remain consistent, and I'm going to speak my piece. I'm going to state why I have my beliefs and opinions, how I made them, how I shaped them, give you the information in case you want to inform yourself or challenge your own opinions. But I would never tell someone that they needed to shut up, disappear, go into the background, not make people. We just don't want to know you're here. And to find out that the therapeutic community is actually endorsing this idea of gray rocking, which is being taken wildly out of context. Wildly out of context, which it could be useful in situations where you are in harm's way, in physical harm, or in an abusive household or a domestic violence situation. Of course, gray rocking could be used and could be very advantageous. But to then flex it and blanket it over, make it want to become a societal norm, I see a huge problem with that. And sadly, Go Team has greatly embraced that and is trying to actually force that mentality when they see someone speak out. Now, here's what I have to say about Miss Arbor. I personally do not know how she is. I only know her persona that she puts out online. I do know that her persona that she exhibits online is greatly different than the articles and statements I read from people that know her on a personal level. While I cannot state that what they say is factual, I can state that the consistency in which they identify her as different than her persona is almost 100%. Therefore, I deduce that what she states and what she actually believes and practices are two very different things. And I feel that allowing her to interview Dr. Jordan Peterson created quite a mental conflict. It almost was he has been such a consistent, such a psychological consistent over his span. While he has done things that have really challenged norms, he has done so in a consistent manner. And for some reason, this engagement just shocked me and made me feel that this was the first speed bump and inconsistency that I had witnessed from Dr. Peterson and his team. Now, he may have had a great idea or goal in doing this that completely escapes me and evades me. And that's great. I hope he did. I hope I figure out what it is, and I have to eat all these words. But at this moment in time, what I saw was the psychological field attempting to be socially current by tagging social media personas that have a large following so that they could gain a different demographic. And that doesn't compute with what Dr. Peterson normally attempts to do. And it really kind of set me off kilter just a little bit, and it made me have some conflicting emotions about where he is going in his new projection since coming back from his illness. On the other hand, I expect nothing less from Nicole Arbor because she does everything as a shock and awe. I mean, the one time she was in a movie, she flashed her boobs. Everything she does is a look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, hey, look at me mode. And so I expect nothing less from her. So she remained consistent. But the conversation in the comment section is full of people telling other people, well, if you can't accept this, you need to shut up. How dare you speak poorly about somebody? You're not supporting someone. You're not practicing what you preach. Now listen. Actively not supporting someone or actively saying I have a neutral opinion or I have a possibly negative opinion and I don't support this individual, that's okay. You can have an opinion and a belief. You can state it openly, and you don't need to feel guilty about having that opinion and belief. You don't have to be positive 100% of the time to be somebody that has a positive momentum in the world. Sometimes you do need to have boundaries, barriers, lines of demarcation in which you say, I'm not going over there, and I don't want to be affiliated with anyone over there. And that is basically what I did today. So, if you can stomach the interview, you might want to watch it. I can't. I can't watch one of our century's greatest minds just deduced to a blithering social media experiment. I can't do it. I can't do it. And I can't take serious an interviewer whose claim to fame was flashing her breasts. And I might not be popular for saying this, and I might get some absolute hate for doing so, but it is my truth and my honest opinion and my belief, and that is how I came to all of those. So now you know. I'm not going to wish her ill will. I'm not going to seek out and try to push negativity in her way. I simply do not agree with her. I do not embrace what she practices and preaches. And I certainly do not believe that the person behind the persona is somebody that I would enjoy. And that's how I made my decision. Don't gray rock. Unless you're physically in harm's way and need to blend in with your environment, don't ever hide who you are, what you believe, or what you need to say. Silence is sometimes golden. But silence is also sometimes a prison. Know the difference, and don't ever shut your own cage door. Mama is out.